Hello, Bible readers. It is July 10th, and today's readings are from Job chapters 21 to 24 and Mark 7 and 8. So I'm going to get a little bit into the weeds today about one of the techniques Mark uses. We're to the halfway mark, by the way, of Mark. And he uses this technique a couple times, and you'll see this in some other Gospels too. We call it an inclusio. So think about like including something, but what it means is I think of it as a sandwich, where like in the text we have for today, there's two connected stories that surround another like a sandwich. So in this example, there's a deaf man made to speak and hear, and then there's another story that's in the middle of the sandwich, and then there's a blind man made to see. In between is what the author Mark wants us to pay special attention to. See it, hear it, speak of it. And the story that he wants us to pay attention to is how much compassion Jesus has, how willing and able Jesus is to feed people again. I mean, we just had a feeding a couple chapters ago, and now we have a feeding of the 4,000. Again, so much that there are leftovers. And in this story, he ends by saying to his disciples, don't you yet understand? You know, like, I'm showing you who I am and what I'm about. I'm a provider. I am one who has come to feed everybody, so much so that there are leftovers. And so many say that this 8th chapter, making the blind man see, this is at the very center of the gospel, and it is as clarifying a thesis statement as Mark has. See what God is up to. Job, as we go to Job's chapters 21 to 24, we get to the third and final cycle. I talked about this a couple days ago. The friends take turns kind of poking at Job and telling him, well, there must be something wrong with you. There must be something wrong with you. Bildad will speak just a little bit. Zophar, not at all. Eliphaz is who we hear from the most in this section. He undergoes the greatest change of any of the friends, because if you went back and read Eliphaz, his first comments to Job, he's the most sympathetic one. But he goes from, I know you've been a pretty good guy, Job, and there's lots of good you've done, but there must be, just look into your heart. Think about something that you must have done something wrong. But now, by this third round, it's just scathing rebuke, and he's actually making stuff up. You took from widows, you must have. I mean, Eliphaz just can't, there is no category for him for how this could possibly be anything but that Job is a terrible person. He's making stuff up to make sense of senselessness. And that's the part that I really took from this part of Job, was how often do we see things that aren't there in other people, sometimes in ourselves, just because we try to make sense of things that are senseless. One more note, Sheol. I didn't say anything about this. We're going to see this word, S-H-E-O-L. We're going to see this word a few times throughout the Old Testament. The Jews have an understanding of the world. It's not like Christians that have life, death, heaven. And I'm not sure even Christians are real clear on what that all is. But there's a sense of like earth, for Jews, heavenly places, and then like low in the earth places. And Sheol, it's not hell so much. There's no burning fires or anything. It's just dark, silent, you're never going to get out of it place. So it's a lot like what we consider hell, but it's dark. So it feels a lot different than a fiery burning with a Satan holding a pitchfork there. Sheol. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.